Peace and blessings minus the stress, and I pray you walk in the divine path for which you were destined. It's your brother in business, King Rob, back with another video from the Mac Global channel where we discuss all things that move the needle in society. Today we're talking about Capital One. Capital One. I don't know how many of y'all bank with them, how many of y'all have a credit card with them, but they've had a little bit of an issue over the past 24 hours. Let's get into how that, along with a history of hacks and just issues overall, has affected the company and what it means moving forward for them. So let's start with a little bit of history. Back in 2019, Capital One experienced one of the biggest data breaches in banking history. Over 100 million customer accounts and credit card applications were compromised. Sheesh. Exposing sensitive data like names, addresses, credit scores, and even social security numbers. The breach was traced to a former Amazon Web Services employee who exploited a vulnerability in Capital One's cloud storage configuration. How did he find out about that? He or she. Capital One faced significant backlash for this incident, understandably, and it had to pay out $80 million in fines to regulators and settle the class action lawsuit for $190 million. Imagine having to pay $80 million to somebody who regulates that. But that's what regulators are there for. So, you got to do better. More importantly, the breach raised serious questions about its cybersecurity practices, especially since Capital One has heavily marketed itself as a tech-forward bank. You can be tech-forward in marketing and in actual practice and still get, hacked. It don't mean that you are, technology increases and advances every second of every day. So once the problem is solved, there's already a new problem in the works. Fast forward to today, Capital One is again in the spotlight. Over the past year, the bank has faced multiple outages, leaving customers unable to access their accounts, process transactions, or even contact customer service. Sound like Facebook. While technical issues aren't unique to Capital One, the frequency and duration of these outages are raising eyebrows. I bank with Capital One, or at least I have an account with them, and, I haven't had any issues per se, but, there's only a couple dollars in my account, so I don't think it matters on my side. To put it in perspective, though, let's compare them to other banks, other major banks. According to downtime tracking reports, JP Morgan, Chase, and Bank of America have far fewer incidents. And when they do occur, these banks typically resolve them much faster. This disparity points to potential gaps in Capital One's infrastructure and incident response capabilities. Or, people might just be targeting them for a number of reasons. Bank of America is pretty much the biggest and most beloved bank in America. JP Morgan, Chase, I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but I think they acquired or had a piece of, I have to double check that. I saw some information about that a couple of weeks ago. But I think Capital One just might be getting targeted. Obviously it's getting targeted. So what does it mean for Capital One moving forward? Well, customer trust is everything in the financial sector. Everybody needs an institution or a platform that will protect their money, protect their financial interests. Nobody wants to go and have more than the normal allotted risk factors when banking or doing anything money-wise, especially digitally, as this world is heavily digital. After the 2019 breach, Capital One invested heavily in security upgrades, but the recent outages suggest there's still work to be done. I hate to be Captain Obvious on that one, but it is what it is. For many customers, reliability is just as important as security. If they can't access their accounts when they need to, they might start looking for alternatives. Kind of like the Coinbase thing. If you have Coinbase, sometimes it is very difficult to access your money. They'll hold it for weeks at a time before you can get back into your account. And that is super frustrating, especially if you're trying to make a play, you're trying to make a crypto play, you're trying to make a stock play. So it's the same thing with Capital One. You know, if people can't get, especially people that are middle class, even your lower, quote unquote, upper, whatever middle class you are, you still need to access your funds when you can. And ain't nobody trying to hear, I didn't, sorry, direct deposits ain't go through, or this ain't go through, that ain't go through, or you can't get to that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. That's why they got glass separating, you know. So, how does it impact the business? Outages and data breaches don't just damage the bank's reputation, they can also hit the bottom line. Honestly, if customers lose faith in Capital One, they might close their accounts, move to competitors, warn people to stay away from Capital One. You know, bad news travels faster than good news, and bad reviews often are, when it comes to customers, spread way quicker than good reviews. And in the age of social media, that spreading of the word is immediate. There's still hope, of course. Capital One has the resources to address these issues head on. They've already shown a commitment to innovation with tools like Eno, the AI assistant. They have industry leading rewards programs. And if they can couple these strengths with a renewed focus on reliability and customer service, they can regain lost ground. They're big enough pause to, for this not to have a super huge effect on them if they can remedy the issue quickly and effectively. I doubt there'll be any type of compensation or whatever to the customers. You never know, but it is a corporation at the end of the day, so it don't get that sweet. But they're not going to lose too much footing if they get this, nip it in the bud, get it under control immediately. So, what do you think? Are these outages just a temporary hiccup, or do they signal deeper problems for Capital One? I mean, is this being repetitive? Is it happening too many times and not enough time in between problems? How do you think they stack up against other banks? Where do you bank at? Do you bank with them, have an account with them and somebody else? Are there differences that you can highlight and compare? If so, leave them in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you need any information on the Houston housing market, real estate market, don't hesitate to leave a comment and I will get right back to you. Excuse me. So, once again, this is the Mac Global channel, music, arts, culture, and commerce, where we discuss everything that moves the needle in society. And I'm your brother in business, King Rob. Till next time, peace.